If you're over 60, you've probably been told that nuts are one of the healthiest snacks you can eat. They're full of protein, healthy fats, fiber, and important vitamins and minerals. And while that's true for many kinds of nuts, here's the surprising reality most people never hear. Some nuts can actually work against you as you age. They can quietly trigger inflammation, strain your digestion, spike your blood sugar, or overload you with unhealthy fats that hurt your heart and joints. I've seen many seniors add more nuts to their diet thinking they're making a smart choice, only to feel more tired, achy or foggy without realizing the connection. But here's the good news. When you know which nuts to avoid and which ones to choose instead, you can enjoy the flavor, crunch, and health benefits without the hidden downsides. And that's exactly what I'm going to share with you today. The 4 nuts I tell my senior patients to steer clear of, and the 4 nuts I recommend they embrace for energy, brain health, strong muscles, and overall vitality. My name is Dr. David Langford, and this is Health 360 Pro. I've spent over 30 years helping older adults navigate nutrition and lifestyle changes that make a real difference, not just on paper, but in how they feel and function every day. My patients aren't looking for fad diets or extreme plans. They want practical, science-based solutions that fit into their lives and deliver real results. And as simple as it sounds, switching the nuts you snack on can have an outsized impact on your energy, circulation, memory, and even your mood. That's because not all nuts are created equal. Some are powerhouses for your heart, brain, and immune system, while others are loaded with oxidized oils, excess sodium, or hidden sugars that undo the very benefits you're after. Let me give you an example. One of my patients, Carl, is 72 and a retired high school principal. He came to me frustrated because, despite eating what he thought was a healthy diet, his cholesterol numbers were creeping up. He had nagging knee pain, and he'd started feeling sluggish in the afternoons. When we reviewed his food log, I noticed that every day, without fail, he was eating a generous handful of honey-roasted peanuts. Now, peanuts aren't technically nuts, they're legumes, and they're one of the most pesticide-heavy crops in the US. But that wasn't the only problem. Honey-roasted peanuts are coated with sugar, salt, and processed oils that promote inflammation and contribute to insulin resistance, especially in older adults whose metabolism is naturally slower. We swapped those out for raw almonds, and within 3 months, Carl's afternoon crashes eased, his knees hurt less, and his cholesterol dropped back into a healthy range. That's the kind of simple change that can transform your health. Another culprit I often see is the pre-packaged mixed nuts you find at grocery stores. Many of these blends are heavy on cashews, which have a higher carbohydrate content than most nuts. For someone over 60, that carb load can spike blood sugar and contribute to the kind of low-level inflammation that ages your cells faster. Cashews also tend to be roasted in refined seed oils, which are unstable at high heat and can produce harmful compounds in your body. One of my patients, Helen, 68, was dealing with persistent joint stiffness. She thought the healthy fats in her daily trail mix were helping, but when we switched her to a mix heavy on walnuts, pecans, and pistachios instead, her joint discomfort noticeably improved in just weeks. Then there's the issue of flavored or salted nuts. Things like BBQ almonds, salted macadamias, or ranch-seasoned peanuts. The flavor coatings are often full of artificial additives, excess sodium, and preservatives. Too much sodium can raise blood pressure, and in seniors, this can significantly increase the risk of heart issues. I think of Daniel, a 75-year-old former firefighter who loved his salted cashews. After switching to lightly salted pistachios and making sure to rinse them before eating, his blood pressure readings began to normalize. Small adjustments can make a big difference. Finally, I have to mention Brazil nuts. These are tricky because they're actually very nutrient-dense, especially in selenium, which is important for thyroid health. But they contain such a high amount of selenium that eating more than 2 or 3 a day can push you into toxicity over time. I had a patient, Sylvia, who was eating 10 Brazil nuts a day because she'd read they were good for hormones. She ended up with brittle nails, hair loss, and fatigue, all signs of selenium overload. Once she cut back to just 1 or 2 Brazil nuts a few times a week and balanced them with other nuts, those symptoms reversed. Now, here's the flip side. The nuts I do recommend my older patients make a regular part of their diets. Walnuts are at the top of the list. They're one of the richest plant-based sources of omega-3 fatty acids, which support brain health, fight inflammation, and keep your heart strong. I've seen patients who started adding a small handful of walnuts daily report not only better cholesterol numbers, but also sharper memory and improved mood. Then there are almonds, particularly raw or dry roasted without added oils. Almonds are packed with vitamin E, which is a powerful antioxidant that protects your cells from aging. They also help maintain healthy blood sugar levels, which is crucial for preventing the fatigue and brain fog that so many seniors struggle with. Pistachios are another excellent choice. They're lower in calories per nut, high in fiber, and contain lutein and zeaxanthin, antioxidants that support eye health, which is especially important for preventing age-related vision decline. I've had patients tell me they noticed less eye strain and better night vision after incorporating pistachios regularly. And then there are pecans, which are loaded with antioxidants and healthy monounsaturated fats that support circulation and reduce inflammation. They also have a naturally sweet flavor, which can help satisfy sugar cravings in a much healthier way. The key with all these choices is to enjoy them in moderation and in their most natural form, raw or dry roasted, unsalted, and without added sugar or oils. For most seniors, a small handful, about an ounce, once or twice a day, is the sweet spot. This gives you the heart, brain, and muscle benefits without overloading your system with calories or fats. Some people worry about the cost of higher quality nuts, and I understand that concern. The good news is that you don't need to buy massive amounts. Buying in bulk from reputable sources, storing them in the freezer to prevent spoilage, and rotating between 2 or 3 types can help keep the cost manageable. And the truth is, spending a little more on quality here can save you far more in health costs down the road. It's also worth mentioning that while nuts are nutrient-dense, they're not for everyone. If you have a nut allergy or certain digestive conditions, you'll want to avoid them or work with your doctor to find safe alternatives. And if you're on medications that affect blood clotting, you should check in with your healthcare provider before making major changes to your nut intake, since vitamin E can act as a natural blood thinner. When I think about the seniors I've worked with over the years, the ones who've had the most success improving their health always start with small, sustainable changes. Swapping out harmful nuts for beneficial ones is one of those deceptively simple adjustments that, when done consistently, adds up to a big difference in energy, mobility, and longevity. You might not notice a dramatic change overnight, but give it a few weeks, and you may find you're moving more easily, thinking more clearly, and even sleeping better. So here's my challenge to you. Take a look at the nuts you're eating now. Are they coated in sugar, fried in unhealthy oils, or overloaded with salt? If so, replace them with raw or dry roasted walnuts, almonds, pistachios, or pecans. Make it a daily habit. Pair it with plenty of water, and notice how your body responds. Food is powerful, and at this stage of life, every bite should be working for you, not against you. If this conversation has given you something to think about, I encourage you to take action today. Don't wait for another health scare to start making changes. Your body still has an incredible ability to heal, adapt, and thrive when you give it the right support. And if you found this video helpful, like it, subscribe to Health 360 Pro for more science-backed, practical guidance, and share it with someone you care about. Together, we can make these years not just longer, but stronger, sharper, and more fulfilling. The choice is in your hands, quite literally, in that next handful of nuts.